What's going on, guys? It's Craig with Tech 360, and today I'm going to talk to you about being a correctional officer. Alright, so first off, I want to go ahead and thank you guys for clicking this video, and for two, is this microphone that fancy or what? It's pretty nice, right? It's shiny, it looks good. So basically I want to thank you for clicking this video, and I'm going to give you kind of some ins and outs of what you should and shouldn't do, what you should expect during the hiring process or working at a Texas prison. So first off, I'm going to make this as quick as I can. I know it's probably still going to be kind of long. I'm going to do my best to make it as quick as I can. You all know I try to do that. First off, if you're thinking about getting into corrections and you're not a people person, this job's not for you. If you don't like being around people, you don't like people being in your personal bubble, this job is not for you. If you have an issue being confrontational with somebody or with people, this job is not for you. If you have an issue of having to shoot and kill somebody, if you have to, this job is not for you. If you do not like to stand hours on end, this job is not for you. If you like sleep and you like having a life, this job is not for you. Because when you get into this business line of work, you don't have a life. You don't get much sleep. Plain and simple, you don't. Especially if you work 12-hour shifts. You don't have much of a life, and especially depending on what kind of contract you're working under or what prison system you're in or which prison you're in. Everybody's policies are a little bit different. Not all of them are the same. But I'm going to speak to you about what I did and how I got on in my process and where I'm at now. So basically, when you want to get on, of course you get a phone call. I had to go in and do an assessment, which is basically like simple yes and no questions about their policy, kind of things that they want to know about you, like will you this and will you that. Are you one of those guys that like to purposely get hurt just so you can file workman's comp? This is, just stuff like that. It's simple stuff, simple yes or no, no big deal. Then once you do that, then you have to fill out an application, get your application filled out, and then they'll call you in for an interview. It may be the same day, it may be later, who knows? I mean, it may be a couple days, weeks, who knows, whatever it may be. Now, my interview was actually the same day I filled out that application. So what they did is they pulled me to the warden's office, actually, and I sat down with the warden, deputy warden, and one of the guys from administration. And they basically sit down and ask you questions, and you meet them. They ask you, so what makes you a good candidate for this position? I give them my answer. What should make me choose you over other candidates we have? And give them your answer. They basically ask, what are your strengths and weaknesses? And you give them your answer. Now, you want to make sure you have that in tune, because they do pay attention to that. They kind of want to see where your mind's at and how you think and what you're going to, what you're going to say in that position. And they're going to ask you, it's a simple, light-hearted stuff like that to the most part. Some of them may get in depth depending on where you go. But this, where I was at, it wasn't too heavy of questions. So basically, then once I got done with that, they schedule like our physical agility, and that's within like 2 days. Show up, like our physical agility, it was you had to run like a quarter mile under a certain amount of time, which wasn't that hard. You have to do X amount of push-ups within a certain amount of time. You had to do X amount of sit-ups in a certain amount of time. You had to be able to do a carry thing, which is like a 50 or 60 pound bag. You got to carry, you got to walk, and I think it was like 30 feet, set it down, pick it back up properly, carry it back, set it down properly. Just kind of simple stuff like that. Now, there are other prison systems and there are other trainings that do make you do more physically demanding stuff. Not all the physical agilities are like this. They're all a little bit different in their own way. They kind of have their own way of doing things. So after the physical agility is done, then we go into, they set up our training dates. Now, ours was one Monday through Friday. It was like 8 to 4 every day or something, or 7 to 4 every day. Amazingly, it was majority all book work. It was about this thick of TDCJs and our contract holders policy, basically the company that runs this prison, basically. And it was, like I said, the Texas Department of Criminal Justice's policies, and that's basically how to handle inmates, codes, and how to do cases, how to do this, and if this happens, how you handle this. You got to do this, you got to do that, because if you do everything has a certain way to do everything. Everything in that prison that you're going to have to do will be in that book. There will be, for the most part, there will be a written page about how to handle a certain situation, and you will go through all that, and you will test over that, and if you don't pass the test, you get another try. Sometimes you will get another try, and if you bomb that test, then usually you're booted. There was 4 tests, I think, 4 or 5 tests throughout my whole training. And then toward the middle and end of your training, because I think my training was like a month and a half long, they start putting you down range, which means putting you out down in the cells, putting you down in the pods, and basically kind of getting familiar with the inmates, getting familiar how to run these pickets, and the picket is basically like a bird cage, a little box that you sit in. In this box, you can and it has windows all around it, and the prison I'm in, it has windows around. Some of them are not, some of them aren't enclosed, some of them you're actually sitting out in the middle with these inmates. You're able to touch these inmates, you're able for them to touch you, so you're not really protected by nothing. So that's where you got to be smart about how you handle your words, how you speak to people, how you communicate, your body language, because if you come off aggressive, you're going to have a bunch of aggressive inmates around you, and that's going to create a lot of problems. So you want to make sure, if you're hot-headed, you might want to be careful, because it can get you in a lot of trouble. If you have a mouth on you, you might want to be careful. It can get you in trouble. You got to learn to control that mouth. You got to learn how to defuse situations by words. There's going to be a lot of steps you're going to learn. You're going to have to memorize. There's going to be a lot of stuff that you're going to have to like one. Some of y'all may understand. Some of y'all may be able to even list this one below: the 9 steps to use of force. Now, there's 9 steps. And you will be asked to go through that, and you will be asked to recite those 9 steps. You will be asked to recite the steps to deadly force, basically the steps you have to take before you have to use deadly force. There's all kinds of stuff. Just like I said, you just got to read and pay attention. It's just there's a lot to it, but for me it wasn't that hard. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. The instructor we had made it pretty fun for us. So basically, like I said, more toward the end of the class we got, the more stuff we did out in the pods and dealing with the inmates and running picket, running central. You'll learn to run central because they kind of want you to dabble around in a little bit of everything in the prison. They want you to learn how to do central. When central, you'll learn, if you get into it, it controls pretty much everything in the prison or the jail or wherever it is you plan on going. Pickets are kind of the same thing. There's a little box you sit in. All it does is that you watch your pod that you're in. Your pods are basically like big rooms that have all the cells in it, and there's a controller in there that opens up all the cells. Sometimes they close the cells. It gets boring in there. It does. It gets boring, especially when you're 12-hour shifts. Usually, how we do it, we have a picket officer and a rover. Picket officer stays in that picket. They don't come out of the picket unless they go to the bathroom. A rover, their job is to rove around. They rove around into the pods. They kind of keep an eye over everybody to make sure they're not doing nothing they're not supposed to. You have to do cell searches. Like, ours are mandatory. I don't know about other places. Ours are mandatory. We have to do searches. That's ripping the cells apart. We have to do it, in each pod, at least 2 per day that we're there. So they're always getting searched. And just keep eyes on things. And then after 6 hours, we swap. I go to picket officer, they go to rover, and we just do the same thing. Everything is a paper trail. If you do not like to write, this job isn't for you, because you will do a lot of writing. I've done more writing at this job than I did, I think, in my all high school year. I've done a lot of writing so far. So there's it's mentally, it's kind of, to me, it was more mentally draining, trying to learn everything and try to learn how to deal with these people and learn how they think, so you learn how to counteract what they're going to do, what they're going to say. You learn how to do different things. And speaking of, on the training part, I think I kind of skipped over this. I don't think I covered it. You also do defensive training. It's a defensive tactic type stuff. It's different stuff. It's not like karate or nothing like that. It's not. Ours was more like jiu-jitsu type stuff. It's learning how to. I'm trying to think of a nice way to put it, better than what our instructor put it. Basically, it's learning how to take over an inmate, basically, that's getting very combative, or basically how to handle almost any situation they throw at you, whether it be swings, punches, or running at you, or throwing stuff at you, verbal, trying to come at you with a shank, trying to do this, trying to, you know, hit you with like a stick or a bat or broom, whatever it may be. They teach you how to deal with that and how to maneuver around it, how to, you know, stop it and counteract and counter strike, whatever, and take them down. There's a lot of stuff you will learn on that. You need to pay attention to that as well, because if you're in like a minimum or a medium or a maximum security prison, you will need to remember that. You will probably use that every day. You will get a lot of use of forces, which is basically when you have to come in contact with somebody to force them to do something, or you have to get an altercation with them. That's a use of force. That's a whole another bundle of paperwork and a whole lot more stuff I'm not even going to get into. My daily routine: I come in, we go through briefing, they talk to about what happened the day before or the night before, what's going on, different things that are going to change, what we need to do, you know, just odds and ends stuff, paperwork stuff. Then we get sent down and we relieve because I'm on night crew, so we're going to relieve the day crew. The day crew leaves, we come in, we take over. Now we watch at night. Now we have a lot of turnouts at night. On certain nights we have like church turnouts. They have churches in there. They have education turnouts. They have child turnouts. They have rec turnouts. All kinds of stuff where these people go. So you have to make sure you know where you're sending them. You have to just listen, because and pay attention. That's all I can really say, is pay attention through all your training. That's pretty much the most part. And then, like I said, we do that for 12 hours. You know, we sit there and we watch these inmates at 10:30. We rack them up. They're in bed for the rest of the night. We're sitting there just bored to tears. So anyways, I know that was real vague. I try to keep this. I was hoping I was going to keep this under a 10-minute video, but it looked like it didn't work. I try to brief it up for you guys. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to comment below. I'll do my best to answer back. Be sure to like and follow or subscribe, whatever it is on this one. I think it's subscribe on this one. I get so mixed up with all the social media stuff. You can browse around. You can check out this video. It's another how-to video on something. It's basically an instructional video when I went through EMT school and explained to you what to kind of expect on that. And I've got this one. It's something simple, you know. It's just, I've got all these kind of different how-tos and instructional and kind of informational videos. Check them out. Till next time.